Employee turnover has become a big problem in the United States. In fact, 33% of U.S. employers expect employee turnover to increase. The average turnover across all industries in the United States is only 3.4%, or it was in 2024. But if you look at individual industries, the story gets a lot worse because 3.4% doesn't sound that bad. In fact, I say if you can get your turnover in any organization below 10%, you're doing pretty well. But listen to this. In the leisure and hospitality industry, turnover is at 76%. That means they lose 3/4 of all their people to voluntary quits every year. Retail trade is at 65%. Construction around 57%, food service around 50%, call centers 45%, transportation and warehousing and manufacturing are both at around 40%, and real estate is at 35%. Now, why does this matter? Because the average cost is a little over $36,000 a year for a company with these levels of turnover. But for 20% of businesses, the cost is over $100,000 a year. And I've worked for an organization once where turnover was so high and the organization was so big that it was costing them almost $1 million a year because of the high turnover they had. But here's the thing, 42% of voluntary turnover, like voluntary resignations, are preventable. So why is this a problem? Well, if on a national level, we have a 2% drop in engagement, employee engagement, just 2%. That's a $438 billion loss in productivity across the United States. Last year, engagement fell to 31%, meaning less than 1/3 of all employees were actually engaged and enjoying the jobs that they did. And active disengagement rose to 17%. Now, that's people that are actively resisting doing their jobs, doing the work, and listening to the guidance and the leadership of their organization. So these three issues, turnover, productivity, and engagement, they're all deeply intertwined. Low engagement fuels higher turnover, and it reduces productivity. High turnover exacerbates productivity losses and further disengages remaining staff because it has a contagion effect. Poor productivity reflects and reinforces disengagement, and it creates this vicious cycle. So across the nation, the scale of this problem is massive, with billions of dollars in losses and operational disruptions affecting businesses nationwide. Think of it this way. So I worked in a certain department for a while. I trained this department. Their turnover was about 55%. So think about highly skilled employees. Half of them leave every year. So that means you lose the efficiencies that they may have developed, which means a reduction in productivity. Then you have hiring costs on top of that. And for this particular department, the loss of one employee was $18,000 lost in training, productivity, hiring expenses. Multiply that times 50, you've got about $800,000 there. That's a huge problem, and that's just one company. But there is a silver line. See, organizations that prioritize engagement strategies like fostering strong manager-employee relationships or offering development opportunities, or more importantly, having actual, successful, impactful leadership development initiatives, they can reduce preventable turnover by up to 42%. So addressing these challenges, it's not just a workforce issue. It's really a business imperative. It's a leadership imperative, and it's essential for success in today's economy. And here's the thing, the single best solution is the democratization of leadership development. It has an impact unlike anything else that we can try to minimize voluntary employee turnover. And that, my friends, is a great topic for my next video.